In the previous video, we discussed creating what-if scenarios. Let us now discuss portfolio reports and program view. In this video, we are going to take a look at checking various reports in portfolio, where we will be taking a look at the capacity report and dependencies report. Apart from that, we do have some other reports that we will go through. And finally, we'll take a look at what is a program view and how we can use it to get a bird's eye view of what is happening across different portfolio plans. So right now I'm logged into one of my JIRA instance where one of my portfolio plan called mobile development plan is currently open. Now, if I go to the fourth tab, which is on the top right corner called reports, I will be able to take a look at different reports that we have in portfolio plan. And the report that we have right now opened is called as a dependency report. In portfolio, when you're working on different activities, when you're doing a planning, you can actually create these dependencies between issues, and these dependencies will be depicted here in the report for you. So you can see here that right now we have an epic which is currently dependent on some other epic, maybe in the same project. So it is a very good way to take a look at which activity is waiting for the other activity to be finished. Then we have some reports like releases, which is quite straightforward. You will be able to take a look at what all releases do we have, and you can actually take a look at individual epics under those releases. And if you want, you can also switch it to the stories, so you can actually check the stories that will be part of those releases. Let me move on to the other report called as scope. In the scope report, it is simply a list of all the activities. It could be a story or it could be an epic or different epics that you have in the portfolio plan. And you can also check the progress of each and every issue listed here. And of course, you have the option to take a look at the team which is currently being assigned. And if you have some dates associated with your stories, you can also take a look at those dates. So it is a very good way where you can actually have this table or list of all the stories and epics in a single view. The other report that we have is the schedule report, where you can actually take a look at on a timeline the information about different sprints and the individual stories that will be released as part of that particular sprint. If you want to change it to the epic view, you will be able to take a look at all the epics here. But in my opinion, when you are looking at the stories, you have a very good detailed view of the upcoming sprints. And if you want to change the view and you want to include maybe some additional information, maybe you just want to have this grouping based on the projects, or maybe you want to have this information where you have the grouping based on the team as well, but you can also change it to person. So if you now take a look at your report, you have a very detailed report talking about each and every project, and within that particular project, what all sprints you have, and you have a breakup of all the people working as part of the sprint under that particular project. So it is a very good way to get a glimpse of what is happening across your projects in a single view. The other report that we have is the capacity report, which is one of my favorite report in portfolio. In this particular report, you can actually see very clearly the allocation of the work for each and every resource in my team. So you can see here that for my iOS project, which resource is currently doing what amount of work. And this is also broken up for different sprints. So if I want, I can actually change this particular grouping based on team if I want. So instead of going to the level of the resources, I can also do this capacity management at the team level. And this can be very useful when you are working on the capacity of your team, and you know that your team capacity or the velocity of your team, let us say, is 20 for a particular sprint. So this report will tell you the amount of work they can do, or you can plan for each and every sprint. And the other report that I want to show you today is the sprints report, where you can actually take a look at each and every sprint and the actual stories that will be delivered as part of that sprint. So apart from these reports in portfolio, we also have the feature where we can create a portfolio program. So if you go to the portfolio menu on top and you click on the create option here, you will be able to select a program which is nothing but a group of plans. So let me create a new program very quickly, and if I click on the create button, I will now have the option to define what plans I want to manage and view in my program view. So I can give my program view a name. Let us say if I am responsible for managing not only my mobile development activities, but I also have a web team who is working on, let us say, some web-based applications. So I'll just create a program for the whole set of projects, program view for mobile and web, and I can actually click on the create button on top to create my program. And what it will do for me, it will give me a very clear indication of what is happening across my plans. So right now we can see here that we have the information of all the epics from different plans, and not only the information about the epics, we can also see the details of the progress. So right now I can see very clearly that my epic UI is currently 25% through the plan, and you can actually click on those progress bars to see what is happening in that particular epic. And you also have the information about the people who are currently assigned on those individual epics. So this program view is basically helping you with the information which is coming from different sources, different projects, and it is the view that will be managed by maybe your high management people who just want to understand what is happening at the high level. They don't really worry about the actual details. They just need to understand whether we are on track or not. In this section, we discussed what is portfolio, and we went through an overview of portfolio where we created a portfolio plan and we understood how we can use different what if scenarios. And finally, we had a look at various portfolio reports and a program view. In this course, we went through an introduction to JIRA 7 where we discussed what is JIRA and why it is beneficial for your team. Then we understood various steps required before you can plan JIRA, and we also understood how the installation of JIRA can be done on your machine. We then moved on to create a new JIRA core based project for our business team, and we spent time understanding how it can be used for simple task management. We also discussed JIRA software where we spent time on both Scrum and Kanban based projects, and we understood how we can use JIRA software for development projects. And then we used JIRA Service Desk to create a support desk for your team. And we explained how JIRA Service Desk is different from JIRA Core and JIRA software-based projects, where we spend time understanding different configurations that can be done in your JIRA Service Desk. We also discussed the searching and reporting capabilities in JIRA, where we not only had a look at the basic search feature, but we also spent time understanding the advanced searching capabilities in JIRA using JQL. And finally, we created various reports and dashboards in JIRA to stay top on your project activities. And finally, we spend time on the portfolio app, which is one of the most popular agile road mapping add-on from Atlassian, and we understood how we can use portfolio for not only planning of your project, but at the same time you can use it for tracking and creating different what if scenarios. This is the last video in the section and also in the video series. I hope these videos were useful. Thank you very much.